Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is my second video regarding the TR to PR pathway stream which was launched by IRCC. I have already made one video in which I gave everyone a brief walkthrough about how the application portal looks like, how you will upload all your documents and how you submit your fees and how you make the application. So in this video, I'll share with you all the IRCC forms which are mandatory for everyone to be filled into the application. So first of all, I'll show you where you can get these forms. So in Google Chrome, you can just type in guidelines for TR to PR. And this very first link here, guide 5069, you can open this link. Under this link, you go and click on gather documents. So you just then scroll down and here you see complete the application. Here are the forms which are required for everyone. Now, these forms which you can see are highlighted are the forms which I downloaded. So the forms which shows if applicable would be if you are having any additional dependents or any other requirements. But the forms which do not show if applicable are to be downloaded by you and are to be filled by you into the application. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These 5 forms are going to be mandatory for you. So now let's jump into the forms. So I have all the forms here. So you need to ignore the first form. I downloaded it by mistake. Okay. So these 5 forms here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are mandatory for every applicant in these 3 categories. So I'll show you the very first and the very important form, which is the generic form. Okay, so this form is the generic application form for Canada. You do not need to print this form. This form has to be validated and it has to be saved in your computer, and then you'll upload this form directly into the portal. Now make sure that you download this form on the PC or on the laptop through which you are going to do the application. Do not download this form into any another computer and then create your application on another laptop or PC and then send this form via mail. This is a certified by Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada form. So make sure that you download this form on the same laptop through which you are going to do the application, because this form has to be validated. And once you validate this form, down here somewhere a barcode will be generated. Just above here in this area, a barcode will be generated, and that is what is very useful for this form. So be careful with these things. So this form would consist all the requirements about you as you are the principal applicant. So just fill in all the details here. Make sure that you verify the form once or twice before you hit the validate button. Okay, so you do not need to rush. Put all your numbers, your name, everything exactly as you have on your passport. Verify all the documents and take care of these silly things, and put your billing address, your current address as the place you are living right now. So that all you have to do in here. And as you are a principal applicant and you would be applying for single person, you can remove dependent here. It would say this prompt to you and then hit OK, so it will remove the dependents. So that's all. You do it this way, and once you are all done with this form, once you have verified all the details are correct, hit the validate button and it will generate a barcode. And down here it says consent and declaration for applicant. You do not need to worry about this, so just leave it like that. If you want to add your name, you can add your name here, and you can date here the day which you're making an application or you're filling the form. And there is no need of doing any signatures, and you can see like it won't allow you to do signature as well, because this is a generic form, so it just has to be saved. Do not print this form. So this was for the very first generic application form for Canada. Let's move on to the second form. So this form is what I was talking to you, is the new form which IRCC introduced for this specific stream. So this form is at the bottom, you can see imm 0130, which was brought in specifically for this stream. And it's a very short form, but it will just check in your eligibility if you are eligible to apply or not. So that's all it has in it. So you'll just add your name as per your passport. Then here you'll choose in which stream you are applying. So I assume that most of the viewers watching this video are the English speaking candidates. So do not choose anything here. You'll just choose one of the options here, probably international graduate. So you just select here. Then you go under language proficiency and you'll select yes, provide language test. Because if you don't have language tests, you won't be able to apply under this stream. So you would say yes, don't worry about this. These are just the baseline requirements for applicants. So you would click on yes here. Then you go, and have you completed your education from a Canadian institution? You would say yes, and that should be after 2016 31st December. And now here in this question, section 5, section 6. So depending upon what you choose here, you have to fill in the information here in section 5 and section 6. So if you choose workers in Canada stream A or workers in Canada stream B, then you'll have to fill in the section 5. So here in section 5, you have the dates, the hours per week, your employer name, your NOC code, which you can get from the NOC National Occupation list, and your position or the title. So for this information, you need to have a reference letter or maybe your employment letter from your employer. And that employment letter should have all this written properly so that if there is a verification done, you are not in trouble. So you would write the date from the date you were employed, and possibly the tool date should be the date on which you are doing the application, right? So make sure that these date should be on your reference letter because that is the date when you are employed. So probably you'll also have the guaranteed hours, which could be like 28, 35, 40, etc. Your employer name, find out the NOC code under which your job comes, and put in the position and title. So this was for the stream A and B, as you can just read here, workers in Canada stream A and B, or maybe the French speaking and English. Okay, so we are talking about English, so you have to fill this area here. But if you are an international graduate and you haven't completed 1560 hours and you have chosen international graduates here, then you can leave this place blank, or you can just add in not applicable. And this would be the area where you have to specify with which employer are you currently employed, the date you were employed, and the hours which you are guaranteed, and your position, and find your NOC code. So this information which you'll fill in here should be exactly as same which you have on your reference letter. Please make sure that. So the form date should be on your reference letter, the hours, your employer name, which could be like maybe McDonald's, Walmart, KFC, etc., the NOC code, and the position or title which you have there. So this is what you have to do. Are you currently physically present in Canada? You would say yes, obviously. You would be on your work permit. So these are the things which you need to be careful in this form. Just one important thing I'll again highlight here, that whatever you fill here, whatever information you provide here, should be matching the reference letter which you have from your employer. Okay, so there won't be any trouble for verification. And then you print this form and you signature it, and if you want you can date it by your hand, or you can date it on your computer as well. So after you have filled this form, just take a print and put your wet signatures here. So this was for the imm 0130. Let's talk about this form now. So additional family information, not a big deal. So here you would put at first your name, you are the applicant, and then you would put your marital status, country of birth, etc. If you have children, you will put your children's specific information here, brothers and sisters, and yeah, that's all. You'll print this form, you'll do your wet signatures, uh, put the email addresses, and put your country of residence, as well as make sure that this all is exactly the same on the passport for yourself as well as your brother, sisters, your mother, father, and your children. make sure that this all is exactly same as you have on your passport, because your passport is a valid document for addresses. The IMM 5562 supplementary information for your travels. So this form asks to you about, have you traveled anywhere outside Canada and have you stayed in any country for more than 6 months? So if you have stayed in any country for 6 months, or if you have any past travels, you have to specify the dates, the length at that destination, the name of the destination, and the purpose for travel. And if you haven't traveled anywhere, you can just stick in did not travel, did not travel. Now, the confusion here is people travel from India to Canada for study purposes. So you do not need to mention that trip here because you already have your valid work permit or study permit, but that was not a trip for any other purposes. So do not mention that trip here. You can just leave this space as did not travel and did not travel. But if you have traveled to any of the other country, maybe Europe or maybe United States, and you should be specifying the date, the length, the destination, and your purpose of travel. So this was the supplementary information travels form. And the very last form here is the 5669, the scheduler background declaration. So same information here, put all your details, your full name, your date of birth. Here it says your full name written in your native language or script. So I think probably people could not type it in here. So what I personally did is that I filled this form, I took a printout, and then I wrote it with my hand. So that could also work for you. Do not worry about that. Check in no here because you haven't committed any crime. Sorry. And yeah, so the important part in this form starts from here: your education, your personal history, and if you were a member of any association, organization, government position, military, and your addresses in the past. So I'll tell you how to fill these areas. So first of all, your education. So probably if you are from India and if you are watching this, the elementary school runs from 1 to 6 or maybe from 1 to 10. But according to me, it should be 1 to 6. So 6 years of primary education here. Then the secondary would go up to standard 12, so 6 and then another 6. Then your university or college would be like for 4 or 6, depending if you have done masters or bachelors. So I would take 4. And then your post-secondary school, which you have completed here in Canada, which would be a 2-year course. So this is how it adds up to 12, 16, and to 18. If you have completed masters, it would be 6 here, and then it would be 20. So this is how you fill these areas, and then you provide the details here, like from which date to which date you completed your elementary education, the name of the institution, your country of residence, and the type of certificates you were issued, and the field of study. So for elementary and secondary school, I would say that the type of study would be language and science, and for higher secondary, it would be science or maybe commerce, mathematics, and then for university, it would be your specific field of engineering. And then your trade school education, which you have completed here in Canada, put in the details of that education and specify the type of certificate or diploma you have issued. Like for engineering, you get a bachelor's. So this is all you'll fill in here. Personal history. This is a very important section, and you can also see it says a note here. Please ensure that you do not leave any gaps in time. So this is about your personal history and your education. So here you'll fill in all the things in the past 10 years, after 18, or in the recent past 10 years, depending upon what your age is right now. So you have to take care of the dates here. So I'll give you an example. Maybe my recent uh, my recent job is from 2020 March, so 2023, and I'm currently working here, so 2021-05. And my activity is employed, so I would write employed here. and I would provide the status in this country. So I'm currently on work permit, so I would write work permit. I would provide the name of my employer and the city where I'm living. So it should be like maybe it's Kitchener, and then should be Ontario, Canada. So this is how you fill it. Uh, don't do this like don't put ON and CA. Write the full names, or maybe just provide only Kitchener. And the date here is 2020 March, and I'm currently employed, so 2021 May 05. Now the date which I have specified here should be exactly same here, so 2020 03. And now then I'll go back from 2020 03 to the past. So if I was in India, or maybe I was in Canada, like from 2018 April, I was in Canada and I was employed, or maybe I was studying, so I can provide the activity as studying. Or even if you didn't have a job, you can provide unemployed. But if you got a job after a year, then you have to change the dates here. Then it should be like 2019, maybe 4 to 2023 you were employed, but you were employed at any other place. So provide that. Then put this detail here, 21904 and 21804, and you didn't find a job in Canada, so write unemployed, or maybe write studying. Put your city, your status. So here the status would change. It would be student permit, and you are studying at the college. Write the name of that college, and this way you complete this section. Go in your past. So from your recent to the past, you'll go like this. But the thing which you have to take care here, according to the note, is that this date and this date should be same, because it does not show any gaps in time. So if there are gaps in time, it would cause delays in processing your application. They would ask you about the time which you have unfilled. So this you have to take care here. And then the rest things are like common for you. If you have been a part of any organization or military government position, put in those things here. And again, make sure that you have a document which supports the information you give everywhere in this form. Like for this area, your education, you should have a supporting document to prove that the information you have provided is correct. And at the bottom you provide your addresses. So provide like 2 or 3 addresses where you have stayed. Provide the dates again here and give in the address. And yeah, that's all. You print this form, you do your wet signature, and you do not need to complete this section. You can read here, do not complete the following section. So just leave this section blank. Complete this section up to this point, do your wet signatures, and date the form. So guys, this was it. These were the 5 forms which are important for you, and you would be filling this form while you do an application. If you have any questions, again, comment in the section below. If you need any help for filling up the forms, you can contact me there. And make sure you subscribe the channel, like the video, and if you haven't watched the previous video, make sure that you watch that video as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day.